Hey stalkers, I love you. So this week I'm going to be talking about 5 different books and book series that I really enjoyed and am hoping that someday, whether it's me or somebody else, turns them into a movie. Now, I know a lot of people don't like movie adaptations of books because they change so much that it doesn't really resemble the book anymore other than the main characters and the general plot line. But I'm hoping that if these books ever get made into a movie, that they stay as close as possible to the book in order to keep them like the book because, well, I just love them and they're that good. I also hope that someday if I end up making movies from books or TV shows or whatever, that I get with a crew and a team that really do want to keep to the original concept as much as possible, because I don't want to make stuff that people are going to be like, oh, I love the book, and they go and see the movie and they're like, well, that was shit because they just changed everything. But anyways, let's get started. So one series of books that I really enjoyed reading was by author Kenneth Opel. The first book is called Airborne, second book is Skybreaker, and third book is Star Climber. So the Airborne and the other books take place in kind of like a history type world where planes don't really exist. They usually get around through air by like blimps and things like that. And it's about this boy named Matt Cruz who works on one of these ships, and in each of the stories basically he goes on an adventure of sorts and overcomes all these different things. And it's hard to explain without giving away too much about the book, but honestly, give it a shot, give it a read. It's such a great book, and it's definitely a different look at the world, especially in the third book when they go into space. Another series that I want to make into movies, although the first book has already been made into a movie, it was kind of a big flop, which really upset me because I absolutely love the series, and I would love for it to have a remake and then get made, have the sequels made as well. And that series would be the Inheritance series, Aragon. Absolutely love these books. Although I haven't been able to get to the fourth one yet, because every time I start reading the third one, I get distracted and end up stopping halfway through. But I absolutely love this series because I've been obsessed with like medieval warfare and dragons my whole life, and books that had to do with it. And I just think that Christopher Poloni tells the stories so well and just makes you fall in love with the characters. So this is one book that, since the first movie came out and was a huge flop, I had always said that if I ever become a director for film, that this is a movie that I would want to remake and make it 20 times better. Another series that I absolutely loved the first time that I read it was a series by Hilary Bell called the Farsala Trilogy. The first book, Fall of a Kingdom, was great. Second book, Rise of a Hero. Third book, Forging the Sword. This series takes place, again, in more of a medieval type world, where basically the main point of the books is a country invades the Farsala, and these unlikely heroes basically have to fight back and try and win back their country. So it's honestly such a great book. I highly recommend it. I definitely am planning on rereading it sometime soon because I want to relive it again because it's such a great book. Now this next series is actually quite big, and I am absolutely a fan of this author because of the way that he writes. He is such an amazing writer. The series is it's actually quite complicated because it has 3 groups of books in the series. The series is called Books of History Chronicles by Ted Dekker. Now, the thing that I love about this is that it has 3 different kind of sub-series inside of the whole series itself. The first series is more kind of along the lines of children's books to like preteens, young adults. It's called The Lost Books. There's 7 of them, and they are pretty awesome. They take place in this fictional world where there's two types of people that are diseased and people that are not diseased, and they're constantly at war. And there's these magical creatures called the Shadakai and the Roosh that are guiding each side. Honestly, such a great series. I highly suggest it. And along with that series, that goes with the plot line of connecting that to our reality. So it's kind of a series that combines the reality of our time right now with something that would have happened either in the future or the past type deal. So another one of this series is 3 books called the Paradise Trilogy. I haven't gotten to this one yet, but I believe it's kind of more the story of how everything came to be in the series. The series that I'm currently reading in this series is The Circle, and the thing that I absolutely love about these books is that this one here is actually called Book 0, and it goes with its name. It's a complete circle. You can basically read any of these books in order, in any order, and you will kind of get the story, but you won't fully understand it until you've read all 4 books. So that's something that I thought was really intriguing, and reading the books, it's such a great story. This one also switches back and forth between the modern time as well as the dystopian world that they're in. And the final book that I absolutely want to make into a movie someday is probably one of my most favorite books that was actually given to me by my sister. It's called 7 Deadly Wonders by Matthew Riley. I actually just last year found out that it's not a single book. There's more books to it. So I've been looking for them at Chapters, but haven't been able to find them anytime. They've always been sold out. So that could be an indication at how good this series is. But I absolutely love this because it takes kind of an interesting twist to history in a sense. And I've always kind of been a history buff a little bit in more of the like Greek and Roman mythology. So the thing that I love the most about this series is that it plays on the 7 ancient wonders of the world. So basically there's all these different teams from different countries competing to assemble the golden pyramid, the golden tip of the one pyramid that will has some prophecy attached to it that will get them all the power in the world, basically. So there's all these teams that are trying to get it for selfish reasons, and then there's the one team which is made up of different people from all these different countries around the world that are trying to get it so that way it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But the interesting part about the story is that they go to all the ancient wonders of the world and have to defeat all these other teams and the booby traps in order to get the parts of the pyramid. I just absolutely love this book. It's such a great read, and it's written so well, and it even has some imagery in there to help you with picturing like the booby traps and the puzzles, things like that. So I highly recommend this book as a good read. So this last book, so I know I said I was going to give you 5 books that I really want to turn into movies. This one, not so much. I don't think it would be able to be turned into a movie because of the graphic content that is in it, but I think that it would make an amazing movie. Although, in order to fit it in, you would probably need to split it up into at least 2. I honestly never would have picked this book up had it not been for my grade 12 English teacher, Miss Fung. She was such a great teacher, and the one thing that I enjoyed about her class was that she didn't teach Shakespeare, because she knew that we had Shakespeare from grade 9 to grade 11, so she wanted to give us something a little bit different. So we ended up reading Life of Pi, which recently got turned into a movie, and A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery. Now, this book takes place in India in approximately the 70s. Now, although it's not based on an actual story, it is based on what life was actually like in India during the 70s. And honestly, it is such a great read. It's very, very graphic and has a lot of scenes in it that will make you kind of just wonder what you're reading and just be shocked. But it is such a good read, honestly. This is the first book that I ever read for school that I actually went out and purchased on my own. It's just such a great read, and I highly suggest it, but be warned, it is graphic. So that's all for the video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely go check out some of those books if you think you're interested. I highly recommend them, and maybe someday we'll get to see them as a movie, whether I make them or someone else makes them. Hopefully that's the case. Don't forget to comment down below what some of your favorite books are and which ones you would want to be turned into movies. Don't forget to like, comment, share with everyone. Share with your friends, family, strangers. I'll post links below for my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, all my social media. Check it out, follow, subscribe, and hopefully see you guys next week. Squirt, squirt, squirtle! I also want to give a shout out to this YouTube artist, Matt O'Brien. Check him out. I'll give a link down below, or you can click right here. He's a great musician, and he's trying to raise money to self-fund his own album, so I'll post a link down for that as well. So go check him out and send him some love. So strong that I cannot escape it.